Welcome to Color Me Happy. My name is Brandy Hofer. I'm your host. I am a mother to 3, artist, Canadian. This is the worst intro ever. I'm gonna keep going. It's late, but I like recording at night because I get really reflective, and my creativity is definitely at its peak. It's when I love to paint, and I used to get into like a really big routine. Well, I'm in a routine. I love creating daily, but when I had 2 or 1 kids, now 3, life has gotten all that much more complicated and complex, and the third threw a wrench in things, to say the least. So routine is kind of sporadic, but when my partner, and he does this a lot, he's great, he puts all the boys to bed, and I get to come back into my old routine, grab a tea. My old routine did not include podcasting. It was just strictly painting, and I did a lot of straight years of painting. It was a solid, great routine, and I loved it a lot, and I miss it from time to time. I still try to create daily, but it's not the same stretch of therapeutic time, I guess, to say. So I actually did this thing, and what I want to talk to you today about is a few things. Is Jamie Lee Curtis on Instagram. I love her Instagram, by the way. It's so random, but her in a way. And she had this thing, and it said, it's kind of back there in like 20 posts, because she posts often. And it said, the first 4 words you see will be your mantra for 2023. And I was like, oh, whatever, it's fun. It's like a big word jumble, letter jumble. And I wrote it down somewhere, but the first word was purpose. All the words actually resonated with me. I got money in there, so I was super pumped about that. Everyone loves some money. Money makes the world go round. We talk about that a lot on the podcast. Anyway, I won't get off connection and people and change. That's what it was. Okay, because I keep seeing, oh, miracle now I'm saying. I keep seeing the same words. So, oh, breakthrough. Ugh, beautiful. Anyway, so I put this in the newsletter, and I've also put it in our Color Me Happy community. So you can subscribe at brandyhofer.ca for our newsletter, and or join our free community, Color Me Happy, on Facebook. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I burped, but I mean, I'm human, and I'm sitting here recording, and I just ate a candy, and that's what happened, and drank a whole glass of tea in like 4 gulps. Okay, anyways, but too much information. Purpose really resonated with me. Brandy, your podcast was supposed to be deep and meaningful, and you ruined it. Okay, so what I was thinking about, and I have been totally overwhelmed with this stage of my life, because I asked for so much. I asked for so much. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I did this? Wouldn't it be cool if I did that? And it was like, it was coming from years and years of like being in the art world and hearing so many no's, that when you head into the real world and ask for things outside of the art world, wow, I got a lot of yeses. And now, and I'm in no way complaining. It's just like, oh, okay, you need to decide now. You're at a point where you can decide. So I sometimes forget where I've been, and I forget what that was like. So I want to go back with you, but first I want to talk about what's happening to me now, because maybe you're in this position now, or maybe you're looking to be in this position where you're like, oh, okay, I've got so many good things or positive projects going on, that I actually have to sit down and think about what I really love and where I see myself. Not that you can, right? But I want you to think about, I hope you get to that spot of reflection, and it's a little stressful, not gonna lie. And it was heavy for December, for myself, but so our newsletter this week is completely about connecting back to yourself. A time to quietly tune out the world and come back to what is true for you. This year, I have a word I'm going to stick with: purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why have I done what I've done? There are areas of everyone's life when the external world impacts them in a tidal wave of support of sorts, and they have to find the strength to fight against the tide or float with it to live. There's never a point where you're going to make it into the calm waters and just sit there forever. There's no end point. There's no end game here, guys. Every time you swim yourself into a section of somewhere, you're going to ebb and flow and flounder and fight against current. And it's just, if you think about your day, how much shit happened today, good and bad, hard and easy. That's just like a little blip of life, right? So acceptance of where you've been and what it takes to be who you are in your heart, and acknowledging that life is a balance of all of the things that can expand who you are as a human being. Finding your fire, growing, evolving, learning, and knowing that all the tools are inside you. Purpose. In the grand scheme of things, without feeling overwhelmed, sit with yourself. This is your task, by the way. So get a notebook or a piece of paper or your sketchbook or whatever. And I'll cue you at the end because I'm going to talk longer. I get really reflective this time of year, just like everybody else. Find the time and space, sit with yourself, and I mean only yourself, in silence or like really inspiring music, preferably with no lyrics, and think about purpose. Find it, feel it, see it, and accept what you are presented with. Oh my gosh, I did this the other day. When I work out, I listen to that sort of music and I get into a meditative, state. And I usually see like what I want or what questions I've had. So I'd say it's your like closest connection to your being, who you are and what you want. It's very powerful, very powerful. So we will cue you at the end, and hopefully you can use it as a tool in your everyday life as well, because man, it works wonders. And I was not a believer, and I have been in the last few years, and look what happened. Now I have to sit with myself and decide what I want. WTF. Okay, so again, you might not be here. And you know what? When I listened to podcasts when people were there, or like their lives or whatever, and they're like, oh, I have so much, and I'd be like, fuck you. So if you want to say fuck you out loud to me, go ahead. Fuck you for being where you want. Okay, get it out of the way. I get it. Jealousy is not a bad word. It just means that that person is somewhere that you see yourself. And that means they've done it, so there's a way for you to get there. Talk about it in my book all the time. I tell some really funny stories about that too. And I actually have a cool podcast guest on, Jeff. It's not too many episodes ago where we actually talk about how jealous I was of him. And how he wrote a book. And I didn't know why I was jealous, because I was just painting at the time. Just painting like it's super easy or something, and parenting. However, I was super jealous of him. And now my book's out, which is super exciting. Okay, so I talk about this in my book too, building blocks. And I'm going to take you back, because I do remember the days. I'm going to take you all the way back to when I was a student graduating from university in 2008. Facebook just started. Let's paint a picture. I was on the east coast of Canada, NASCAD University, and I came home because my partner, of course, I started dating 2 months before I left, 2 years earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just looking for a fling this summer. And my friend's like, oh, perfect. My brother just got out of this long-term relationship. You guys will be perfect for each other. Well, we were really perfect, as in we fell in love. And I didn't fart. That was my elbow rubbing against the counter. Okay, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not burping and tooting on the podcast, and that's just noises, room noises, and movement, because again, I'm human and I'm moving, and I edit my own podcast, so there's noises. And so yeah, I'm going way further back than I meant to, but I met him 2 years before I went to university, and we did long distance. And anyway, so I came home, thank goodness, because I came home that summer, and I came home and lived with my mom, which, I mean, I was a student, so used to that. He was living with his parents. We made it work. And I had no money, and my mom's like, you gotta go get a job tomorrow. I was like, what? I don't want to be a server. I have a degree, Mom. I have I have my BFA, my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Surely anything else is way below me. No, I had to go get a job ASAP. And I'm glad I came. Oh, that's what I meant to say. I'm glad I came home because we only had a few years left with a couple of our parents. So thank you, universe, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It was a good move. We both were born and raised here, and we both went away. I did a lot of traveling throughout our relationship, and yeah, so it's not like I wasn't worldly when you choose to live at home. You just choose to be close to your family. Thank goodness. It's home for us. That's what it is. Okay, so I was super not psyched and super snobby. Big asshat move of, acting like I was too good to be at home again, and working. And I got a job at a restaurant same day because the economy was like pumping hard. We live in a place where there's a lot of oil things going on and not enough people to do the serving jobs. So tips were good. But so I went back into hospitality. I worked for a beautiful Greek family who worked me so hard. I was doing 10, 12 hours days with serving, so my fucking feet hurt a lot. And of course I like to wear nice looking shoes, not practical ones. So anyway, I was working pretty hard. And I tell this story really in my book more thoroughly. And several stories throughout, actually. But to keep this short, I like took it for granted. For the first year for sure. And I was totally immature and felt I was too good to be there. And I would like get there like right on time, and I would leave as early as possible, like give my tables away. And like I was making okay money. But then there were these seasoned waitresses who were making, I had no idea because it's not like they told everyone what they were making. But one day one was like, I just paid off my mortgage. Like, what? So anyway, it took me a couple years to figure it out because, I was young and I'm just going to sip my tea. Because it's nighttime, chamomile. Okay, so they were making like clearly big amounts of money, and they only worked night shifts because they worked full-time jobs, and they were just there for the money. Yeah, so there's these people, and why? So what did I take away? First of all, I had adult braces too. Which, it was very humbling. I mean, but it felt like shit. I definitely didn't feel like laughing and smiling all the time. I did, but, they're braces. It's how you feel wearing braces. And after a miscommunication in Thailand, I had half a shaved head. So I wasn't at like my peak of confidence for sure. And yeah, that's another long story. Like, what does she do with those clippers? I'm like, whoa. She is okay. full Rihanna haircut. And yeah, anyway, I wasn't at the peak of confidence. But okay, so I noticed these women um, doing well. And okay, what can I take away? What can I learn from them? And there, there's this chapter in my book, and it's called "The Hardest Part Is Getting Dressed." It is. It works with everything. It works with working out. It works with going outside. It works with the hardest part is always going to be getting dressed. So these women, they came in half an hour early. They were the last to leave. They closed the restaurant. They were working their asses off to make what they deserved to make, because they were trying hard and they were showing up and they were being present. They were playing the part. The hardest part is getting dressed, and the chapter to follow in my book is called "Don't Just Get Dressed, but Play the Part." Okay, so don't just put on your work uniform. Put on whatever makes you feel like $1 million. And I know this works in like the business world. My partner was like a financial advisor, and he used to be, not anymore. They used to have like techniques like, the first thing I do is put on because financial advisors, a lot of them work from home, put on my suit and I go to Starbucks and I sit in Starbucks feeling like so good. Okay, so don't just get dressed, but play the part. So don't just do the minimum, but do the maximum to make yourself feel good. Like stand in superhero pose, whatever makes you feel good. That's a Grey's Anatomy thing I saw on Grey's Anatomy. If you stand in your superhero pose for 5 minutes before you do anything that is hard, you're more likely to be successful at it. So I started, scarves were really in, so I got these like really fancy scarves, and I always wore nice earrings and like these really nice sweaters to wear over my uniform, and I felt really good. So that was like step one. Then even if I didn't feel like it, and I was serving, so most of the time, and I had my degree, and I had served for 8 years leading up to that point through university. So I wasn't like super psyched at where I was at back in my hometown, population 30,000, with my art degree, not using it, right? So I showed up, even if I didn't feel like it. I put a smile on because I was a server. So if you're not nice to the people you're serving in the hospitality industry, you're not going to get a tip. So that didn't take that long to figure out. But okay, so really nice to your employers, really nice to your people you're serving. Who are you serving? Show up with fucking bells on. And funny thing about showing up, getting dressed, playing the part is pretty soon you fit the part. Pretty soon you start feeling good and you're like, I can do this. And you're not like all like, me, I have to go to work in victim mode. You're in like, I'm a fucking powerhouse. And let me tell you, after 2 years of doing that, by the end of it all, I could have a table of 25 because we didn't have iPads. They weren't invented yet. That makes me feel old. But they weren't invented yet. And I think we had iPods, like first generation iPods. That was just music. So an MP3 player technically. Okay, stop talking about how old you are. Okay, so I could memorize a table of 25 with a pad and paper. Memorize, bring out the food, and everyone will get what they ordered. I was doing well. I remember shoe boxes full of money. Wish I had some of those. No, it's like, it's weird now when it's different from like a cash world. I felt so rich with my shoe boxes of money, and I figured it out. What the hardest part is getting dressed. So I got dressed, and I didn't just get dressed. I played the part. So that is one of the building blocks. Okay, I'm going to another chapter and another theme. That is one of the building blocks to the foundation of who I am today. That piece of, what I took away from the hospitality industry was integral to everything I'm doing today. Public speaking, client relations, showing up on a video camera and only fucking up a little bit. Same with showing up to a microphone. I spoke the other day, I don't know what it was, something. Anyway, it is meaningful when I speak. It really is. But, my book reading. Everyone was laughing and everyone was crying. I mean, what I was talking about was very important and close to my heart. But I learned how to move people and change people's lives with my words. The turn of a word. That is something. And I attribute that to the foundation of, where I was in my life. Yeah, I wasn't the happiest clam, but I sure figured it out, and I figured out, I saved enough money to put a down payment on my very first home. Like, I paid off my student loan debt. Like, there were amazing things that came out of that 4-year after university experience of being in that industry. And so everything that you've done in your life is leading to the point. Like, don't slough what you're doing right now aside, because it is so essential to who you are and where you're going to be. You just don't know yet. You don't have the gift of foresight, right? So I want you to sit with yourself and really honor where you are. Really honor what brought you here and why, right? And just know that it is part of your journey and your path to leading you to where you're meant to be. And really, I'm just gonna throw out my book title, See Your Everyday Ordinary as Extraordinary, because every day you will have extraordinary moments. And I love to reflect on some of mine at the end of the day. I'm not super great with doing it every day, but from time to time, I like to think back on my favorite moments. And they're usually the small moments that, like, singing my kids a lullaby and the cute thing they said to me after. Like, that simple. So let's not discount all of that. So I want you to go into my community, or I guess if I'm sending my newsletter out, if I stop talking and get it done so I can go to bed. Maybe I'll send it out in the afternoon by 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will be sending out the email, so you can subscribe at brandyhofer.ca and get that little thing that Jamie Lee Curtis had on her Instagram, or go on her Instagram, I guess, and you will see your mantra for 2023. I don't want you to set fucking resolutions, kind of letdowns. I mean, you can if you want, but I feel like everyone gets really in January, and then it's so high that it's hard to stick to. You get what I'm saying? I want to prepare you, and I want to, what am I trying to say? I want to enable you with the tools to stick to the routine to get to where you're going, because it's not going to work if you don't stick to it. Read Atomic Habits. Like, the little things add up to the big things. I only spent 15 minutes a day writing my book, and now I have a book. Because I have kids, my life is fucking chaos all the time, and it's even more so. Just throw 2 kids into hockey, and there goes your life, and then also have a baby, right? So I figured it out. Surely you can. I believe that you can. I so believe that the little things you do every day. So I want you to think about your purpose, and you can find your own words in the word jumble too. But I love the word purpose this year. And I'm going to give you the cue again. In the grand scheme of things, without feeling overwhelmed, sit with yourself. Find the time and the space and really sit with yourself. Think about your purpose. Find it. Feel it. See it. and accept what you are presented with. Okay, so I want you to also acknowledge where you are today and how it can get you closer to what you're feeling with your purpose and why it is essential, because I know that there are things that you are doing right now that are essential to your purpose. I've had so many incredible things happen, and sometimes they take a lot longer, and they were meant to. And I would never turn around, and I'll talk about this project in the new year. I would never turn around and change him, because it's just the way it was meant to be, and it wouldn't be the same if it didn't go that way. And I speak about that in my book, about the loss of our parents, my partner and I, and fuck, it sucks. It really sucks. Because, gosh, we could use them right now with the kids. We actually talked about that tonight. I'm like, woo-wee. Someone would watch them overnight for more than one, maybe like 2 or 3 even nights. Like, whew, that would be nice. But we can't change it. So we take the gift. We take the gift of, we know how precious time is and the moments, and we will experience and carry that with us throughout our whole life's journey. And we're better people. We're stronger individuals because of those experiences in our lives. So I do have something I am working on, and if all of you, so please sit and reflect and do that cue, your purpose, sit with it, put on some good music that gets like that weird tingly feeling in like the back of your spine going, and put on like a candle, because you don't just light them anymore, you can just put them on with the switch, and sit with it, sit with what you're doing, because without thinking about resolutions, so dumb, and you won't stick with it. You might, but probably not. Be realistic, right? Be realistic, because then you'll stick to it. And this can be anything where you're sitting at in your life right now, because we're all different. We all have a different story. We all have different things in mind. Oh, Brandy, stop talking. Keep it under 30 minutes here. I find it quite impossible to keep a podcast under an hour if I have a guest, 30 minutes by myself. So thanks for sticking with me, folks. But okay, things to look forward to, what's going on, especially in our education realm. We are launching a custom artwork course to follow up with our portrait class, because custom artwork has led to many of the opportunities that I'm sitting on and been presented with, and I'm humbly going to pass maybe some, I don't know, or do it all. Haven't decided yet. They have actually been the reason, and I'm not even lying, like, this is true, the reason why I am doing what I'm doing today. So again, they were one of the building blocks to the foundation of where I'm meant to be, even though the season of custom artwork did cause burnout for me. It created a client base. And as we all know, your return customer is your best customer. So many opportunities came my way after that really busy, overwhelmed season. And I did take time to reflect, and things look different. I'm really grateful for that burnout, because it forced me to shift the way I viewed my business. I'm always shifting. I'm doing shifting right now. That's just how it goes. And I realized I said a lot. I say a lot. Sorry, not sorry. It's just the way I talk, I guess. It's because I'm thinking. I'm not scripted. I'm just going with my feelings here, if you haven't noticed already. Okay, we have a great year ahead. thank you for this amazing 2022. You have been so special. Truly. I've made the most beautiful friends and connections, and I'd like to thank all my listeners and my guests for making this all possible. Or why would I be here? It's the people. It's you. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to our sponsors for supporting what we're about, whatever that is, because it changes all the time. And so that's all female-owned businesses in my community, my very beautiful community, Lloydminster, Alberta/Saskatchewan in Canada. Quiet Canadian prairies, I call it, because it's beautiful and it's mighty, and the sunsets are extraordinary, along with the northern lights. Very special place. So now I'm thanking where I live, and I'd like to thank all the people who helped me get here today. Red Bicycle Communications, all female-owned businesses, Red Bicycle Communications, Mubo Laser and Aesthetic Centers, and Oasis Hot Yoga and Spin Studios. Very special businesses. So thank you, friend, and no pressure. I want this to be wonderful for you. I want this to empower you to move forward and be the best version of yourself. I truly believe that you can be. Or what are you doing here? This is you. You've got it. You've got the fire. You have everything you desire, and it's all coming to you in divine timing. I'm reading off my wall because I have all these quotes. Okay, I'm going to read this one to you because it's beautiful. It's from Leah Guzman in her, what are those cards called? I have them. Oracle decks, right. It's so beautiful, and I've read it a few times on the podcast, but it's really great, and then I promise I'll go. Abundance and joy are your birthright. Everything you desire is coming to you in divine timing. You can have it all. Affirm. I'm abundant. I'm open to receive. My emotions are my ally. I am creative and adaptable. I release what no longer serves me. If you like that, Leah's been on our podcast twice, and they've been great episodes, very popular. One's about a money monster, and the other one is just good. So tune in. Okay, I'm going to bed. And so join our Color Me Happy community. Keep your eye out for the new classes coming up. We have a new one in the spring to go with another new really big announcement project. And we have custom artwork to follow with the project class. And we also have our book. We've talked about so many topics, even today, with our book. My freaking book. I'm reading another note off my wall because I always put up nice notes. People leave me. There has been really great feedback and responses to our book. Really nice reviews and messages about lots of laughing and crying. So it makes you feel your feels and discover your purpose. What we're trying to do here today. Okay, good night, or good day. Bye, friend. If you're looking for some time for yourself to relax, release, and unwind, Oasis has the perfect space for you. They offer yoga and spin classes of all levels. Whether you are a beginner or advanced student, Oasis thrives on accommodating all aspects of the practice. Let their serene environment and gracious staff help you in your journey of peace, healing, and strength. Sign up online at www.oasishotyogastudio.com or by downloading the Oasis Hot Yoga Studio app. Feel like yourself. You deserve it.